thought I'd give you a quick update of where I am with the Nintendo Red Tent. If you remember last time, I managed to get both Excitebike and Versus Super Mario Brothers working on both screens. Now, I actually thought they were working 100%, but I realised after I'd actually uploaded the last video that there was actually an issue with starting a game with Super Mario Brothers. If I attempted to press player 1 or player 2 start, it just basically did nothing at all. The problem was I was kind of a bit stuck really on how I could look into that, because unfortunately when I bought the cabinet it didn't actually come with any keys, and it took me quite a while to actually find out what keys were required for the locks that were on the Red Tent. After some investigation, I managed to find someone selling some of the keys on the Clov forum, and the keys were for locks K6 510s, typical Nintendo locks. So these keys arrived early last week, and I finally managed to open up the cabinet. Well, certainly got 5 locks open anyway with those keys, and that helped me to work out what was going on. And to be honest, it was pretty straightforward what the issue was. Basically, on this side of the control panel, so that's the player 2 joystick, A and B start buttons, and the select buttons, they're all controlled on one harness, and the left joystick and the 2 buttons, they're controlled by a completely different harness. Now, because I had a gun on this side of the cabinet and I've got the gun down here, that actually replaces, it's like a replacement gun kit, it replaces the player 2 harness. And the way that's wired up, if I just show you down here, so you've got the holster here that fits on the control panel in the player 2 section, and this obviously connects to the main gun. So you've got a long cable here, quite strong security cable into the gun, and then that has two connectors on the end here, and I'll show you this cable here. So that basically replaces the second player 2 harness. So you disconnect the player 2 harness, you plug that in, you've got your 2 connectors there that then connect onto the gun connectors there. Yeah, just showing you. And then you've got another wire that leads from that Molex connector there, that goes into 2 additional Molex connectors. Now I think that is like a power cable. If I actually open up the Red Tent and I'll show you where that goes, just bear with me a sec. It actually sits between the coin mechanism, so it's kind of a go-between the coin mechanism. So you basically disconnect the connector there, goes into that connector, reconnects there. So you've got like, it's like a pass-through basically, and then that obviously goes down to the main harness connector, and then obviously you've got your 2 connectors into the gun. Now, I'm not too fussed about the actual gun because first of all, it seems like someone spilt a drink over it, so it's pretty sticky. And secondly, there's actually not that many games for it. I think there's only Versus Hogan's Alley, Versus Freedom Force, and I think Versus Duck Hunt, and that's pretty much it. So it's not something I'm particularly bothered about. The only problem I've got is actually getting another one of these joysticks. I believe they're MDST 1412s. They're found on Versus Unisystems, obviously Red Tents, Play Choice Uprights, and I think on a Mario Brothers upright as well. They're pretty difficult to get hold of, and I've actually managed to source one in Europe, so I'm actually just waiting to receive that, and hopefully I can fit that soon, and that control panel's going to be complete. Underneath the actual place where the gun was, the actual condition of the control panel is pretty decent, so I'm pretty pleased with that. And actually opening the cabinet as well, I can see what the screen is like, and it has got a bit of screen burn down the side here, but it's kind of what you expect with these type of monitors. You know, you will get some screen burn. But overall, I think the cabinet is in pretty decent condition. The control panels will probably need powder coating at some point in the future, but that's not anything that's you know, immediately required. They're not too bad, the control panels. The only other thing I've sorted out is I've replaced the actual plastics on here, because the bolts were pretty tight, and well, tightened by someone else in the past, and obviously they're broken around the corners. So I got Trent Plastics to cut some new pieces with some holes in, and they look pretty good. What was quite interesting though, when I took this section off here, it had like a piece of red cardboard over it, and I didn't realise, because obviously it had the Hogan's Ali gun placed on the control panel, that it actually had Versus Pinball underneath. So that was quite a surprise. So obviously I've got Versus Pinball on this side, and Versus Golf on the other side. So last thing to do is let's have a game of Mario. Now I'll try and do this with camera in hand and joystick. I don't think I'm going to be very good, but let's give it a go. Can we see? We can't see very much here. Right, let's have a look. Right, okay. Well, a bit closer. Yeah, I'm not doing very well here. Clearly can't use controllers and have the camera at the same time. I think I'll stop here. Okay.